What's going on, guys? In today's training, we'll be learning about market structure. Okay, so as we all know, the market moves in three main directions: up, down, and sideways. Okay, the sideways being consolidation or a ranging market, and up and down being an uptrend or downtrend. Okay, so we know uptrends are made of higher highs and higher lows, and downtrends are made of lower lows and lower highs. Okay, when the market is gonna make its first push, whether that's up or down, doesn't matter. Okay, market's gonna make its push. It's gonna hit a point of resistance. Okay, because the market cannot continue going up forever. Okay, at one point, somewhere in time, it's going to reverse. It can't just shoot up forever. Okay, so the market makes its first push and it hits a point of resistance. Right, it's gonna find a point of resistance. Okay, then it's gonna create a pullback. Okay, the pullback is created because traders are taking profit. Okay, not only because it hit a resistance zone, but traders is also taking profit. Okay, so that's gonna bring the market down a little bit. Okay, the trade is then gonna come down and find support. You may see some sideways movement at support. Okay, and in our resistance as well. Okay, you'll see this sideways moving called consolidation. Okay, and then the market will then make its move up, right? Break this resistance zone. And we know when resistance or when support or resistance is broken, it will turn into one or the other. Okay, so if resistance is broken, once it's broken and retested, it'll turn to support. Once support is broken, once retested, it'll turn to resistance. Okay. And once a zone, support or resistance, trend lines, does not matter. Once a zone is broken, there will always, 80% of the time, there will always be a retest. Okay. The retest doesn't have to come immediately. The retest can come in a few days, a few weeks, a few hours, immediate, a few seconds. Okay. There's no timing of a retest, really. There's no telling when it's going to retest. Okay. But a trade is always going to retest. Okay. It's either going to retest the previous higher high or the previous higher low. Okay, so it doesn't always have to come back and retest the higher high. It could go down a little bit further and retest the higher low. Okay, so as the trade is making higher highs and higher lows, I will notice that it'll come back and retest the higher low sometimes. Okay, so it's going to look something like this. Okay, and then take off. Okay, so just because it's making lower highs now, okay, just because it's making lower, oops, that's a lower low. Let me switch that real quick. Okay, just because the trade is making a lower high yet doesn't mean it's on a downtrend until the lower high is broken and retested. Okay, so in order for this to be a downtrend, we were waiting on this action right here to break. Okay, so right here now you're officially on a downtrend. Okay, the higher low has been broken and retested. Okay, so the structure of an uptrend has been broken and retested. Okay, so now we're going to go over the downtrend. Okay, so the downtrend, same thing. Okay, same thing. Market is going to make a move, right? Its first push. The market is going to find support now. Okay, we're on a downtrend now. The market is going to find support. Okay, we know buyers buy support. Okay, bulls are looking to enter the trade at support. Okay, and traders are also taking profit. So we hit a point of resistance, right? I mean, a point of support. My fault. Point of support at the lower low. Okay, the trade is going to pull back up because traders are taking profit, as well as it just hit a support. So buyers now, bulls are entering the trade. Okay, it's going to find support and create, right, this pullback. pullback should then find some form of resistance, right? Some zone of resistance, wherever that may be, right? And create a lower high. Okay. So you could see some consolidation at the lower high. So I'm going to show you like this because on the chart you will see a lot of consolidation. Lower high. Okay. And then you get your break, right? Your break of the lower low. So letting you know that this is continuing on a downtrend. Okay. So you're waiting for the pullback, the retest of the lower low or the retest of the lower high. And that's when you would enter into a trade at the retest of the lower low or at the retest of the lower high. Okay. Okay, so every time a zone is broken, it will be retested. So every time a higher high is broken, it will be retested. Every time a lower low is broken, it will be retested. Okay, so now let's look at what it looks like on a chart. Okay, so here we have AUDJPY, and we're going to see how market structure plays a key role. Okay, we see here we have our consolidation, okay, at the lower low, okay, indicating to us that there's some form of resistance here. Okay, as we know, resistance, we need multiple rejections to confirm a support or resistance zone. So we have, right, we have about 6 rejections right here off of one line. Okay. That's the consolidation I was telling you guys about on the whiteboard. So now let's play this and okay, boom. So we have, right, we were previously on a downtrend. Right, we're previously on a downtrend. We have our lower highs. Oops. Okay, we have our lower high. Lower low. Okay, and we know the trade can, for a downtrend, the trade can either retest off of the previous lower high. I mean, the previous lower low, my fault, the previous lower low, which is right here. Okay, so some of you guys might be asking, oh, why is this the lower low? Okay, let me show you why. Okay, because before this new lower low form was formed, this was our lower low. Okay, this was our lowest point in the market at this period of time. Okay, so that's why that's our lower low. So let me speed this up. Okay, so back to where we started. Okay, so we know we can either retest off of the lower low or the lower high. Okay, so to be safe, to enter a trade, right? If you're looking for if you're a bull, right? You have a buying opinion. You think AUDJPY is gonna go up. You would wait until the lower high is broken and retested. Okay, just to solidify the uptrend. Okay, because right now, right, it's retesting the lower high. This could possibly drop. Nobody knows. All right, because we know for market structure, we know it could either retest the lower high or the lower low. As we see the lower low, You know what I'm saying? The lower low failed the retest. It blew past the lower low. Okay, had a strong momentum candle, blew past the lower low. Okay, so now we know the lower low is not an option for us anymore. Okay, so let me delete this line real quick. There we go. Okay, so we're waiting for a lower high to be broken and retested so we can solidify this newly found uptrend. Okay, so we get the break, right? We get the break. And now let's look for the retest. My fault, we already missed it. Hold on. Let me go back. Okay, so first the trade is going to come back to retest the lower low, the lower high right here. So it's going to come back to retest the lower high down here. Okay, so down here is an aggressive entry because it's still not uptrend yet. Okay, because the lower high was not broken until now. So right here would have been, it's an aggressive entry, right? But you could take your shot with the aggressive entry, but just know it's an aggressive entry. The safest entry is to wait for the lower high to be broken and retested to then form your bias of if you're going to be a bull. Because boom, all right. So now we got the break, right? We got the retest, right? So now, right, the trade is creating higher highs, higher lows, right? We have our higher high, higher low, yeah, higher high, and higher low. Okay, so now we're safe to say the trade is on an uptrend. Okay, it's creating sequences of higher highs and higher lows. Okay, so as we know, if we're buying for a bull, we're only entering as support at the higher lows, right? So as we're creating higher highs, we know it has to come back to retest either this higher high or the previous higher low. Okay, so the trade has one or two options. Either to come retest at this higher high or come down and retest at this higher low. Okay, so you could put a line at your, right, a horizontal line at your higher high and wait for the retest. Okay, as you can see, we're getting the retest as we speak. Okay, we're getting the retest immediately. Okay, boom, retest of the higher high. It's up. Okay, so like I said, 80% of the time, you will get a retest. Okay, 80% of the time. So let's see if it comes down to retest this previous higher high. Just gonna mark a box so I don't have to. Okay, so let's see if it comes down to retest this higher high. Okay, so 80% of the time, like I told you, we're gonna get a retest. Okay, so the sequences of lower lows being formed right here doesn't mean nothing to you. It shouldn't mean nothing to you. Okay, you shouldn't get happy. You shouldn't be trying to sell on this counter trend. Okay, because it's just making the counter trend to come back and retest, and then it's gonna take back up. Okay, just like I showed you on the whiteboard. Okay, boom. Right now we're getting the retest. Okay, so now let's see where it goes. Right, you got your retest. Okay, as you see, retested off of the previous higher high over here. Okay, this was the previous higher high. Okay, and this was the newly formed high high. As you see, it never broke. We put a horizontal line. It never broke our high high. Okay, came down to retest the previous higher high. Okay, we were waiting on the retest to go ahead and continue this uptrend. Okay, so we know uptrends are made of sequences of higher highs and higher lows, right? So we're buying at the higher low, which as support. Okay, this resistance zone was broken and retested. Once a zone is broken, once a resistance zone is broken, it will then become support, right? As we're seeing here. Okay, and as a bull, you are only buying at the higher lows at support. Okay, so this was where you would look to enter at the higher low, at the retest of the previous higher high. Okay, so now you're looking for this trade to make a new higher high, which is all the way up here. Okay, so let's see where this trade goes. Okay, boom, just like I told you. Okay, just like I told you. Counter trend, creating lower highs and lower lows on our way to the retest. Okay, if you don't understand counter trends, make sure you go and rewatch that training. Okay, boom. The consolidation at the higher high, right? And boom, the break. So now we created a new higher high. So it's gonna come down, right? It just broke this massive form of resistance right here, this massive line of resistance. So it's gonna break and then come back to retest it. As you see right here, it broke, come back, and retest it. Okay. Again, the retest of the higher lows, right? I mean, the retest of the higher highs is where you want to enter into the trade. Okay. So at these newly formed higher lows. Okay. So we'll have, okay, right here's our higher low. Here's our new higher high. Okay. And it's going to continue doing the same process over and over and over again. Okay. Creating high highs, higher lows until the higher low is broken and retested to then form a downtrend. Okay. So last example before we move on to the downtrend. You see, we have our higher high broken. So boom, you have your higher high broken. Put a line, all right, and wait for the retest to come back and retest the previous high high. That's where you're going to enter the trade. Okay, boom, retest, take off. Now we have a new higher high. Put a line and wait for the retest. All right, but as we know, it could either retest the previous higher high or the previous higher low. Okay, so this is a perfect example. As you see right here, it blew by the previous higher high. Okay, doesn't mean it's selling. Doesn't mean that it's bearish yet. Boom, as you see, came down and retested the higher low. Okay, so the trade has one or two options. It can either come down and retest the higher high or come down and retest the higher low. So those are your two entry positions, either at the retest of the higher high or the retest of the higher low. Those are the only time you want to enter in for a buy. Okay, as support at the retest and support of the higher low or the higher high. Okay. If it's not any of those, you shouldn't be bullish. You shouldn't be in the trade. You shouldn't enter. Okay, especially if you're in the middle. Okay, so now we're gonna look at a downtrend. Okay, we're gonna look at Euro USD. Okay, on Euro USD, we can see we're clearly on a downtrend as we speak. Okay, but I want you guys to see the break and retest of the higher low. Okay, so if we go back and mark up this uptrend that was forming, right? We have the higher low, higher high, yeah, higher low. Okay, this higher high got broken and retested. Okay, as you see, and continue making higher highs and higher lows. Okay, higher high, higher low, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we know for a trade to officially be on a downtrend, we needed to break and retest the lower high. I mean, the higher low, right? So to confirm that this is on a downtrend, right? Because we was on an uptrend. So just the extra confirmation, we'd be waiting for the higher low to be broken and retested. Okay, as you can see, higher low is broken, higher low, right? Came back to retest the higher low. Okay, the higher low held up as resistance, which is good. As we know, the higher lows are supports. So boom, trade broke the support. Once support is broken, once it's retested, should hold up as resistance. Okay, as you see, broke, boom, now the trade's holding up as resistance. Okay, so now that you see the trade making lower highs and lower lows. Lower high, lower low. Okay, so if you're a bear, you're looking to get in at these lower high points, okay, at the point of resistance. So you're looking at the retest of support at a lower high point. Okay, so at resistance, if you're a bear, you'll ideally want to get in at these lower highs. Okay, so now we're waiting for the trade to make a lower low. And then on the retest, that's where you would get in. Okay, so let's play. Okay, boom. Lower low still not broken. Now lower low is broken. Okay, now we're waiting for the retest so we could get in. Boom. So we have our new lower high. Okay, again, lower highs, if you're a bear, this is where you would enter. Okay, so now we're waiting for, all right, we're waiting for a new lower low so we can continue this downtrend. Okay, as we see, we're struggling right now to create a new lower low, right? We've already broken our lower high. So as you see right here, we've already broken our lower high. Okay, we started to make higher highs and higher lows for a little minute there. Okay, trade came down, retested the lower low, and rejected. Okay, so this could be a good sign of a possible uptrend coming, right? But okay, if we wanted to trade this uptrend, we wouldn't trade it right now. We wait until the high point is broken and retested, just to give us extra confirmation that this is continuing on an uptrend. Okay, so right now you're in the middle of both. You wouldn't do nothing. So this is a no trade. Okay, you wouldn't do nothing. Okay, so let's see where this trade goes. Okay, right, because right now this is pretty much a range. Okay, boom. Okay, so this is where it's at right now, current point in time. So you see, we get the break of the lower low finally, right? Giving us confirmation that it's going to continue this downtrend. And you get the pullback for the retest of the lower low. Okay, so this concludes for this training on market structure. If you have any questions, you can contact myself personally or anybody with a green check. We'll be able to help you. Okay, see you guys on the next training.